Welcome back to Dad Deals. Today we're going to be putting to the test the absolutely wild brand new flat screen TV mount over at Harbor Freight under the Armstrong brand. The crazy thing about this TV wall mount is it can hang up to a 90-inch flat screen TV weighing over 100 pounds using just nails and no studs and no wall anchors. You actually don't even need a drill for this installation, and it says right on the box that it can install in just minutes. So this thing has always intrigued me. I have a flat screen TV that I need mounted onto my wall. So I thought I would go ahead and put this to the test and share my experience with you guys and let you know, is this the way to go? Is this easier to install than a typical TV mount that uses studs? Is it secure enough to hold the TV? Does it really save you that much time? Does it really save you from putting a ton of holes in your wall? I want to answer all those questions for you guys. So stay tuned and come on this journey with me. Now, before we get started, as always, please give the video a like if you find it helpful, subscribe to my channel, and let's check this thing out. So the only tools that you're gonna need for this, according to the box, is a pencil, a Phillips head screwdriver, a measuring tape, and a hammer. Now, a couple more items that I'm gonna add to that list is I'm gonna be using a laser level, and I would also have a torpedo small level to use as well, as the one that's included in the box is super crappy. So right out of the box, it comes with a ton of hardware. Now you're gonna see some what looks like drywall anchors, and you're gonna be wondering, why in the world are there drywall anchors? I thought we didn't need to use anchors, but that is for if you're gonna be using this on a concrete wall and mounting it to that. Now we're not doing that in this case. We're just gonna be going straight onto drywall, so those are not needed. Now this kit comes with a ton of screws that can be used to fit the pattern on the back of your TV. So if you've misplaced the screws that your TV came with, no problem. This kit has pretty much every single one that you'll ever need, including washers and bumpers and everything to make them work, which is great to see in a kit like this, especially how cheap it is. The other thing you're gonna see in this kit are some bumpers. Now those go on the bottom. So you have 4 mounting holes on the back of your TV in a VESA pattern. The top 2 are where this French cleat metal bar are gonna go into, and that's what you're gonna use to put it up on the mount. And then the bottom 2 are going to be just used for bumpers, and there's 2 different sizes depending on if you want a tilt on the TV or not. So you can actually tilt it down a little bit and use the thinner bumpers, or use the thick ones and get a nice flush flat mounting that way. So how this is going to work is you're actually going to drive 20 nails in at an angle, and they have slots to put those in, so there's no guesswork there. And then the 2 pieces, the one on the wall and the one on the TV, are going to go together just like a French cleat would. Now, when I saw how this worked, one question that I had was, which one's better? Is it better to put 20 small nail holes into your wall, or 2 or 4 large bolts that would go into studs? I don't really know which one would be preferred or which one would be easier to fill and cause less damage. I mean, I guess these nail holes would be very easy to fill rather than some bolts, but I still don't think that's that hard to fill. So here's the wall that my TV is going to go on. A couple things that make this mounting method kind of nice is I don't have to worry about any stud placement. I don't need to make sure the stud is in the middle. I don't need to make sure it's even on both sides. I really do not care where the studs are in this wall. And then since the top part of that VESA pattern is in the center of my TV, and that's really the only part of this mount that's needed, it should be pretty easy to get it in the center, which is important on this wall. As you see, I have a slanted roof. This is a room above the garage. So I really need to make sure this TV gets mounted dead center on this wall, or it's probably going to look a little funky. So I'm hoping this mount makes that easier and quicker to do. One other side note is I really like the way this is constructed. It looks like a plastic piece, but it's really not. It is made of metal, and it really feels nice and substantial. You also see in the middle that it has this sort of string that you can pull, and that is actually a locking mechanism. So when this French cleat goes up, you can actually pull down that string and it will lock the 2 together, which is really important and really nice. So no one can just walk up and just lift the TV right off. They would need to pull down that cord that would unlock it, and then they can just lift it off. So here we go. I set up my laser, got my center point, and I'm going to line that up and install this bracket right where the TV is going to attach, which is at the bottom of it. Now this thing is true to its word. It is super easy to hang this up. You're actually going to drive one of the nails into the far left corner, and you really don't have to make sure it's level yet. You just kind of make sure it's where it's at. Drive that nail in, and then you can use that pivot point with a level to make sure everything's level before you drive in the far right side nail. Once you have those 2 endpoints in, it's just a matter of nailing the rest of the 18 nails. They go in very easily, just as you would expect. And that is it. You're done with the wall portion at that point. It feels super secure. I was very impressed with it. I was pretty skeptical of this thing up until this point, but once I saw it on the wall and how easy it was just to drive those nails, get it leveled up, and how secure it felt at the end, now I was getting a little more confident in it. So then you'll attach the other bar onto the back of the TV. Like I said, you're going to use those top two of the VESA mount holes to do so. And then the bottom ones will use those bumpers. Again, you want the thick one if you want it to be flush mounted, or these slim ones if you want it to have a little bit of a tilt. And then to hang it on the wall, you're going to pull down on that cord to make sure it is in the unlocked position. And that will allow you to put the TV, hang it right in there, and join that French cleat, slide it right on in there. And then you just pull the cord again and it locks it all in place. And that's it. The TV came out perfectly where I wanted it. It is perfectly level and it feels very secured. I was really impressed with how slim this fits to the wall. I usually use a swivel mount and that kind of does push the TV out from the wall, but I never really realized how much it did. I love how this is so slim to the wall. I can still get to the ports on the sides. And of course, since this is a French cleat design, if you ever did need to access the back, all you have to do is pull down that cord, unlock it, and just lift the TV off. It lifts off very easily. You could hook anything up and then just put it right back on in literally seconds. So yeah, my final thoughts on this thing. This thing, by the way, is $25 over at Harbor Freight. But my final thoughts on this are very impressed. I was very skeptical of this thing. Every time I saw it in the store, I kind of chuckled at it and thought there's no way that would be secure or even easy to hang. But my opinion really changed after I did this. I would absolutely use this on any of my future TV wall mounts, especially in something like a bedroom or a spare room. I have full confidence in this mount after using it. And I do actually think that it was a lot quicker and a lot easier, especially for one person to do, than any other mount that I've used. Now, one thing I don't think is true on the advertising of this mount is you can see on the box here, it says it's good for people that rent or that are in apartments because they're claiming that it does less damage to the wall. I don't know if I believe that. You're putting 20 nails in the wall, so 20 holes that are going to have to get filled just the same as if you're putting bolts in. I don't think it's that big of a difference. And I actually think it might be more noticeable to have 20 nail holes all in a line than it would to have 4 mounting points or 2 mounting points if you use a swivel mount onto a wall. So I'm not so sure about that claim, but I am a believer in this mount at how easy and quick you can install, especially with one person. And it does feel very secure. I don't really have any concerns about it falling down or anything like that. So I hope this gave you a good idea of what this mount is like if you've been curious like me. But check this out at your local Harbor Freight. Again, it's $25. You could probably get it with a coupon, maybe knock it down closer to $20 if you get one of those 25% off coupons or those sales on the weekends. But that's it for this video. Again, if you like it, please give it a like, subscribe to my channel, and I will catch you next time on Dad Deals.